I want to tell you something that I don't talk about enough, not because I'm ashamed of it, because I'm not, but because I never want you to think that you have to hit rock bottom to get help, because you don't. But rock bottom is where it started for me, so here we are. For a really long time, I was just the girl who didn't worry about it. I didn't really think about what I ate or how I moved. I went to whatever class felt fun. Sometimes I did nothing. It wasn't because I was healthy, because I wasn't. I was working really long hours. I was drinking, smoking, partying too much, basically doing everything that I could to escape my life. And I really didn't think of it as a health problem. This is my life. I'm like in my 20s, let's do this. That's all it was. And then at some point, I decided that it probably wasn't healthy living like that, despite the fact that everyone around me was doing it. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. Let's go to the gym, let's get fit. So I did what plenty of people do, and I help people do now. I went to the gym, I signed up, I got a free session, I signed up with that trainer because I had like a cool vibe with them, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. I'm in, I need help, let's go. And then something went wrong because what was supposed to make me feel better did not. In fact, it made me feel a lot worse. I started to become obsessive about calories and about what I was eating and about how much I was burning, to the point that was pretty damaging. I ended up with some disordered eating and kind of an exercise obsession. And it didn't fix the things that I was there for it to fix. I ended up more lethargic and less healthy and much more disconnected from my body. According to the industry, I was doing everything right. I was doing everything that I was told, and here I was feeling worse and honestly putting myself in a harder position to get out of. I think it's important to understand that at this point in my life, outside of the gym and trying to get healthy, the rest of my life was also unraveling. Despite having a really good corporate job and being very good at it, I did not like who I was in that job. And so I was doing everything that I could to escape my life. I was in a damaging relationship, which also resulted in me having no connection with my family and pretty much all of my friends. And everything that I was doing, the smoking, the drinking, the partying, the shopping, like everything was to outrun my life. It really got to a point where I didn't feel like there was any point in kind of being here anymore and any future for myself. I'm sharing this not because I want you to feel the weight of it, because I kind of don't want to be a bummer, but because I need you to know that that's where everything that I have now was built from. And I really don't want people who are in that position to feel like they can't get out of it. That's not where the story ends. It's just where this story starts. The next step for me, and the next step you should go through if you resonate pretty highly with that, or if you know someone who does, is I went to therapy. And it was a very slow recovery when I started therapy to get to a point where suddenly the things that I was doing, like the stupid mental health walks, were helping me to come back to trying to be a healthier person without the obsession and without the kind of damaging intentions. The biggest part of that was trying to rebuild a relationship with myself, because all that escapism, I kind of just didn't know who I was anymore, and I didn't know how to talk to myself, and the things that I did say to myself were not good. So that's where it started. During this process, which was a couple of years, it became very clear to me that this was not a uniquely me experience, that like a lot of us do get to this kind of point. A lot of us do get to a point where we are really disconnected and we don't kind of know what to do and we do need that help. It was hard for me to believe that it should be this hard to get out of. Like, I was in a very fortunate position because of the job that I had the money to get the help that I needed to, but it shouldn't have been that expensive, and it shouldn't have been that complicated, and it shouldn't have required as many steps as it did. So it was around this point, kind of like a serendipity moment, where I was offered two choices at work. Take on a job with a lot more money, a lot more responsibility, a lot more stress, a lot more hours, or take a redundancy from a role that I had been seconded out of for a year and kind of pretty disconnected from. First time in my life that I decided to take the scary option instead of following the path traveled. I said, sure, give me the redundancy. There's got to be more to life than this. And so I retrained. I became a yoga teacher and a personal trainer and a life coach. And I became obsessed with this question of why, if we want something so bad, is it so hard for us to get? Why does trying so hard sometimes make something worse? I've spent the last 10 years answering that question, not just for myself, but for the clients that I've worked with. So here's what my life looks like today. And I'm showing this not to show off, but to show you what is on the other side of doing the work. I don't obsess about food anymore. I eat mindfully a lot of the time, and then sometimes I don't even think about what I'm shoving in my gob and I just enjoy food for what it is. I exercise with the intention of being able to do cool shit like aerials and handstands and get on the floor and play with my son without any pain or worry about how I'm going to get up off the floor. I earn so much less than I did when I was in corporate, but I am richer now truly in every other way than I have ever been in my entire life. I wake up every single day with genuine excitement about the life that I get to live and the energy to do something with that excitement. I run a business, I run a household, I have over 30 clients right now and a toddler and 2 dogs, and I still find time to train, to play, to draw and sew, and I garden. Like I do more with my life right now than I ever have. And I'm happier and I'm more relaxed and my nervous system is regulated. And if that version of me, like even sitting here now talking about going through that, if that version of me knew that this was possible, or if I was like talking to her, she would be like, you're on crack. Like she just would not believe that I could have all of the things that I have now. And yet here I am, despite trying all the things that the industry tells you need to do, and I was taught to teach you that you need to do. This does not come from the perfect diet or the perfect plan or the perfect morning routine or the perfect anything, because perfect doesn't exist. It comes from continuing to try. It comes from building a life that you want to live while you work towards the things that you want to have, not the other way around. So why am I telling you all this? Well, because I want you to understand that this story, my life, impacts the way that I coach. I'm never going to tell you to just push through. I am not going to ignore the fact that you are human with human things happening in your life outside of your health and fitness. I am never going to ignore that sometimes we need a day off for our mental health or a week off. I am always going to remember that you are a human who is trying to just be while doing all the things and working towards the things. Because I've been there, and I've been with coaches who didn't have that perspective and seen how much it hurts. I never want you to feel like missing a workout is a failure, because your workouts are not really the goal. They are a tool. Most of the people that I work with don't need more information. They don't need the perfect plan. They need support and accountability to practice the skill of consistency, because consistency is not a personality trait. It is a skill that you do need to practice. And it's hard to figure out where to practice that first. That's why I created Stop Starting Over. It's the place that I wish had existed so that I didn't have to do this alone. And I'm really proud of it. It's been in existence for a little while, and I've been reviewing and revising, which is a premise you'll learn in there if you join us. So if any of this has resonated, the link is in the description. And if you're not ready for that yet, that's okay too. But keep going. Keep watching. Keep showing up. I'm going to give as much as I can away on this channel because I have the space and capacity to now, and that version of me would really have loved to have been able to watch this. So yeah, thanks for watching. This was not the easiest thing in the world to sit down and film, but I'm glad I did, because yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself and bloody happy with my life. So cheers to more of this in the future. I'll see you on the next one.